Hello and welcome to Tonalist Painting with M. Francis McCarthy. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and the painting we are doing today is Morning Glade. It is an 8x10, and we did the study last week. Both the study and this version were done back in 2014 in March, so we're looking at 3 years ago here. And this was the first year that I did any videotaping of my work. I've been painting for quite a while, but not really videotaping. And like I said last week, I wish I'd started sooner. But hey, it's really awesome to be able to see the differences in approach, and which are, to be honest, minor, I think. As a matter of fact, it looks like back there in 2014, I was working with burnt sienna and black in my underpainting, and for some reason I'd made a switch over back to phthalo green, but this last year I went back to the black, mostly because it looks better. I like it better, and it sort of replicates the underpaintings of the old masters more as well, with the phthalo green being a synthetic color that actually, when you mix phthalo green with burnt sienna, it makes a dark color, but it's not that dark. When you mix the phthalo green with alizarin crimson, it's actually, I think, darker than the ivory black. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's totally different, though. Not totally different. I mean, perceptually, they both look like a very dark color, like black. But the black goes on different, and it just acts different. Has a different feel and quality. As a matter of fact, I've been working my way through the 25 more days of Tonalism series in the studio. I've been actually finishing off these studies, and there's more than one case there where instead of a phthalo green, alizarin crimson, which you can just call chromatic black, basically, I've been using just black because I knew I wouldn't be able to quite get the look of the original with the phthalo and alizarin crimson mixture. So anyway, today is February, pardon me, 26th, 2017. Here we are, folks, just ripping through another year, and that's all right. It's good as long as you can spend your time doing things that you care about. I say it's all good, and that's one of the great things about making art, is that you do have something to show for your time. Whereas if, say, you were addicted to playing video games or something like that, you could spend an awful lot of time mastering a video game, and you really have nothing to show for it other than some sore thumbs, Not to diss you gamers, if any of you are watching this, I sort of doubt it, but if you are, put down the video game console and go pick up some brushes and make some art. And I think you'll be happier as a person for doing so. I really do. How's it been going in the studio? Well, yesterday as you know, we put up our, I think it was day 14 or 15, 15 I think, of the 25 Days of Tonalism post. We did a nice painting we put up by Charles Appel, and I gave you a little bit of an update on the studio. I basically was working yesterday on this sort of it's coming out of the woods, these kind of paintings I like to do, and pretty interesting circumstance there where I had basically done the study in naturalistic colors, and then I did my underpainting for the larger version, and really just enjoyed the way it looked on the burnt sienna so much. I decided to do a sort of let's just call it, fiery orange, and really deep dark. It's a very dark painting. I hate to say it, but it's dark, but it's got this really nice, bright orange sunset that you're going into, and I'm happy with it, I will say. Um, I think it's probably done now. We'll have to. Sometimes I can't really judge these things until I get the liquid coating on top and even out all of the matte, the dull areas with the shiny areas, and have a few days to kind of look at it and see if there's anything that really needs going further. I do think actually I'm probably going to do a little bit more push the brightness in the sky, especially down where it meets the horizon, a little further, and that's one thing I do like to do. And sometimes I think the story of my life as a painter is that I always hold back. I never get anywhere near a white that's as bright as what comes out of the tube. Well, sometimes maybe in little spots I might, but overall I keep things fairly muted, and it's just a reflection of really, I guess, what defines tonalism to a large degree is keeping things down in that lower register where the tones are a bit more. You can have really intensely saturated color, but because it's not really super bright, you might need to put a light on it. Actually, I think I talked about that yesterday a bit too. So that's going good. I've got two more bigger ones to do when I get back. I think it's probably a 1420 and a 1622 to finish off next week. And I'd actually finished off 6 the week before. But I didn't actually do my photography and stuff yet. I think I'm just going to wait to do it all at once. I could have broke it up. I could have actually just stopped at the first 6 that I did and not did another 4. But I evaluate my 5x7 studies, and I'm pretty happy with the 4 that I've been going after, and that's where it's at. And I guess at home I'm always not always, but there's comes a time I need to prepare my reference images for the next series of paintings, and I have some things done, but I probably have to start hustling because it won't be that long before I need to get in and do another set of 5x7s, and I will, and they'll look good, assuming I'm there and I make it. Now, getting into this painting that we're looking at today, I did sell this. I remember that. It was up in Helena Bay, and some lady bought it. And I know for a fact I sold it because I had inadvertently forgot to sign it on the back, and the people that bought it, the man that bought it for his wife, brought it by my studio, and I'd signed it for him. I think I still have the study around somewhere. And I think also I've done this as a 10 by 14. I'm not sure I like the 10 by 14 as well as the 8 by 10, but comparing stuff is it doesn't always pay off. Usually doesn't pay off. Actually, you can see I'm going into a second pass now. It looks like I did a little bit of glazing, probably threw some black in there, or possibly this painting does look pretty saturated, I will say that. There's quite a lot of color. And back in 2014, as I've mentioned before, I wasn't doing the largest paintings I was doing were 8 by 10s. All I was doing for the larger works, the larger iterations of any image I was doing was 8 by 10s and 8 by 8s, and I still have quite a lot of 8 by 10s and 8 by 8s in my inventory. And the market is just not as into the smaller paintings, but I love painting this size. I don't especially love 8 by 10 though. I will have to say I really loathed it when I started doing it. The reason my logic was that I could find ready-made frames quite easily at that size, and so but I did so many 8 by 10s, I learned to love it. I did. It's an interesting dimension, and actually as a vertical it works really nicely. As a horizontal I always feel that it's lacking in a little bit of a panoramic quality, but I've made it work so many times that I'm not bothered really. So Um, let's see what else. Like I said, you guys are looking forward probably to another. Looks like I'll probably have the 25 more days of tonalism done before I run out of paintings for the first one. So it looks like that's going to be ongoing, which is cool. It's nice. It's nice when I have a spare few moments in the studio at the end of the day, or sometimes earlier in the morning. I'll put one of those up on the easel and kind of, spend some time doing it. And that works out good because it fills in little nooks and crannies. And it also contributes to my education as an artist, which needs to be ongoing. You have to always be striving to move forward and get better. At least that's how I feel about it. Anyway, I can see we're getting close to the end. Thanks for joining me today. Hey, feel free to subscribe. This channel's it's hopping, it's happening, it's now, baby. If you'd like to see more of my work, go to landscapepainter.co.nz. We'll see you next week. Meanwhile, take good care and stay out of trouble.